Nejlepší české pivo. Nejenom české.
No, it's
Těšíme
yours.
se na našeho dalšího hoste, Miroslava Kopecky'ego, a jsme rádi, že jste navštívili náš festival. Szanowni Państwo, teraz nasz zagraniczny gość z sąsiedniego kraju. Cieszymy się bardzo, że możemy go gościć na naszym festiwalu. Wygłosi wykład poświęcony Androidowi, a więcej szczegółów zdradzi sam zainteresowany.
Thank you. So, I'm waiting for my colleague. Yeah, Część. Yeah, I hope I say it good, pronounced in Polish. Okay, so maybe we could start. Yeah, hi there in Krakow. I sent a message from here, and we could start. This presentation gonna be about Android. So, I will start with a short concept. Just start your brain activity and think maybe who needs the beer. I could give him. But you have to show me your identity card if you have over 18. So I will see why I have. You will see later why I'll have it here. And, okay, as I said, we start with a little bit concept and imagination. What's about the current business and what's going on. So this image is from one of the favorite films. It's a iRobot. And what is it? So the human beings are trying to develop the algorithm to implement to devices and or let the devices to do some activity instead of human beings. Like you will see in automotive industry, they are collecting the cars and putting together a lot of pieces. And this is automotive instead of human. And this guy, this robot has implemented also mind. That means that he is able to think alone. And the point here is, this device is mobile. I think this is the way where it is going to business now. Just take the application from your personal computer and put it to very small devices. And by doing this, you are able to cooperate and interact with your hardware. Who is the Star Trek fan here? Okay, only one? Oh, come on, you are worried too. Okay, I have seen this guy in the door. He is also fun. So, okay. You have seen in Star Trek a lot of pieces of hardware who are powered by artificial intelligence also. And this is not the future. It's happening now. You have seen the big development of the Google, who is doing maybe in face recognition. You do remember some issue with the Google Maps and stuff like this. So this is also the step forward in the human beings developments. Okay, what's my name? My name is Miroslav Kopecky, and during my the productive life, I went through the couple of positions from the software tester to coordinator, and also I'm at the Geekon co-founder. Only one. This is the small promotion to the Geekon, and I interested for cutting-edge technology since my 7. So I'm really involved and really happy when I have the chance to cooperating with. Okay, this is the agenda. I will give you some forward about what the Android really is, then describe the SDK, and we went through a couple of examples I have programmed for today's presentation. And then you will see the real-time demo. You can play. I could lend you this stuff, and you can play for yourself experience with this Nexus one. Okay, let's start. As a first, I will start. Okay, let us share a few words about this. This is the service which is running on the Android emulator and which is offering me the wallpaper background, three-dimensional. It's also service. And I will start our presentation. I hope it will be helpful. Wow, its presentation is loading. Android is ready, so we should be ready too. Okay, what is the Android? Android is a software stack for mobile devices. It contains the operating system, some middleware, and key application. SDK allows you to realize your dream and create a very rich application. And what I have, and the operating system of the Android is, on the bottom is lying the Linux kernel, which is the very good idea. As I show you the, maybe I show you. As you can see from the schema, which is very similar to other mobile devices, on the bottom there is lying the Linux kernel, which is a very good idea because Linux kernel is taking care about your memory usage, about your power management, network stack, and everything. So Android developers don't really need to care about development of this piece of Android because there is a huge community of developers who are contributing to Linux kernel development. So they are taking care about the Dalvik, which is the runtime, and libraries and key application. So application framework and SQLite. It's the other part of the Android. And it's offering you the internal database. You can store the data and take it from database. You can save the data from your application for later usage. With SQLite is normally, it's very similar to MySQL, as you know. So I can start with application framework description. If you are starting to developing the application, you are intending to implement some graphical view. It's at the top lies the views. Views are taking care how it is your content displayed to you. It's on the top of hierarchy. On the bottom, you have a content provider. Content provider is an object who is responsible for displaying the data to you and sorting them to the right way you need. There is a resource management and notification management. What does it mean, the notification management? It means that if you press the button, so you expected some reaction on your button press. So this is some event, and this is handled by notification manager. Activity manager, it's taking care about the whole application in general. Because if you do anything, maybe as you set up the text, or as I mentioned, click the button, it's your activity with your mobile phone. An activity manager is taking care of what you did, what you have done here. If you do some activity, you start the intent. What's the intent? What does intent mean in Polish? Zamiar? Is it right? Yes? Oh, it means perfectly, it's matching. Intent is here also zamiar. And if you do, what is it? It's an abstract description of activity or operation which should be performed. This is the intent here. And this is the important part of framework. Okay, we have the last SDK we have now is 2.1, which a couple of days before was announced update. But my applications are all written, are supported by 2.1 SDK. Okay, if you decided to develop any application, I recommend you to use Eclipse because there is the best implementation of the you can compile and directly upload signed application to your phone. So there is no necessary other way to compile your application. Of course, you can do that by the command line. Yes, there is a containing. The compiler contains by the SDK. But if you are using the Eclipse, you have all support. You can also use the unit test and also debugger. So you have a lot of chances how develop your application. And on the bottom of the slide, there is the version which is noted in the main manifest file, XML file, of your application. It should be noted there for which their version is your application developed for. So I recommend you don't forget. Okay, there is also in Eclipse implemented direct connection with the emulator. You have seen the emulator. Okay, behavior of emulator is really close to real devices, but there are a couple of differences in graphical interface. If you create a graphical interface and then upload to your real devices, it's usually I had the issue with the position of the button and text. So it's very close to real devices. Actually, maybe it should be very, very close. It should be like, but it isn't. Okay, and emulator also allows you to use the last features which were implemented to the SDK. I think since the version 2.1, there wasn't possibility to use, to develop wallpapers, live wallpapers. You know, this is a cube which was displayed. So since the version 2.0, 2.1, it is also implemented such development to this SDK. Here is displayed the debugger in Eclipse. When in the right bottom you can see the events that they happen inside your source application, and there is the variables which are created, and you have completely overview what's going on with your application. Okay. Introduction to apps development. It's really good to know that if you start any application on your mobile phone, you start separate instance of Dalvik, of virtual machine. As Dalvik is lying its own life, the Dalvik virtual machine receive all resources you can work with, but it's still own instance. It could, of course, you can have run it several instances of Dalvik in your mobile phone, and they could also communicate between themselves, but it's still your application is handled by one Dalvik virtual machine. The applications components you are allowed to develop are 4 main types and 3 main types which are started up by some messages, by asynchronous message. It means if you are intending, if your application or service is running on the background and need really high resources, and you decided to run the other application, it is set up in an application queue, and after some resources are available for this application, it started, right? That means it's asynchronous. It's set up to start. And the application is displayed to you. The view is created. And it's placed on the top of the level, of the application level. OK, so content provider. It's an object. You don't have direct access to this object. Because it's taking care about, for example, the SQL, the data you have stored in SQL.